So, hello, welcome to Liverpool Psychedelic Festival. Welcome to Talkioki.
Talkioki.
If you don't know what that is, that's what you're doing right now. And if you don't know how to do Talkioki, I can tell you. Just talk into this microphone. So my name's Mikey. Who have got around the table? What's your name?
Ben.
Ben, welcome.
I'm James.
James. Now, the great thing about Talkioki, first of all, it's more professional than it looks right now. I'm actually chewing some chewing gum. I'm going to get rid of that first of all. Excuse me. Oh, camera.
Psychedelic chewing.
Yeah, psychedelic chewing gum. I'm just gonna get rid of that because that's not part of the show. You're part of the show, but we don't actually have any content whatsoever. It's up to you to come up with what you want to talk about. My job is simply to facilitate this conversation. Has anyone got anything they want to? Yeah, Ben.
I'm a very quiet person.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
Chilling out and
Yeah.
taking part, but
Okay.
don't really want to say
You're
much.
taking part. Okay, interesting. Can you tell us what you're doing? Come and have a seat. Come and tell us. You can tell us what you're doing.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. Come and have a seat. Come on. So
That's what you gotta do.
so we've got James. We've got Ben. I'm Mikey. What's your name?
Kath.
Kath and
Mark?
Mark. You said that questioningly if you weren't sure. Are you sure?
Yeah, my name's Mark, yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is Talkioki. Basically, it's a kind of pop-up talk show. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved if you want to. But we've only just started, so we don't actually have a subject. Has
I
anyone?
don't have any VR yet as well.
You don't have
but
any
it's
VR?
coming.
Okay, well, yeah.
Where is the VR?
Okay. Yeah.
Where's it?
Where is the VR? What's your name?
Rowan.
Rowan. I know the answer to this one. It's in your mind.
What was the question?
Where is the VR? Where's the VR?
It's everywhere.
VR. What is VR? Come and have a seat. Come and have a seat.
Yeah, come in.
So we've got James, we've got Mark, we've got Ben, we've got Kath, we've got Rowan. I'm Mikey. What's your name?
I'm Julian.
Julia.
Yeah.
At the moment we're talking about VR. Do you know what VR is?
Yeah.
What is VR?
Virtual reality.
Yeah. What is virtual reality?
Another kind of psychedelic world made by technology.
Okay, a psychedelic world made by technology. Come and sit down and talk about a psychedelic world made by technology. Do you believe in
Made by technology? Oh man, that's not my subject.
It's not. What's your subject? What is your subject?
Peace and love, baby.
Okay. Can the two things be linked? Can you have peace?
That's the easy
Can-
thing to translate to.
Can you? Well, come and sit down. Come and tell us about peace and love.
In a minute, man. I'll come back later on.
Okay, we may not be talking about peace and love later on. We might be talking about something else.
Yeah, I'll come in.
Yeah.
I can talk about many things. It's
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, at the moment we're talking about a psychedelic world. I forgot the rest of it. But so we've got Julia, we've got James, we've got Mark, we've got Ben, we've got Kath, we've got Rowan. What's your name?
My name is Peter.
Peter, welcome. I'm Mikey. Do you believe in this kind of psychedelic world made by technology?
By technology?
Yeah.
Well, what is a psychedelic world anyway?
I don't know. Psychedelic world? What do you mean by this, Julia?
Feels like whenever I had 6 pints of beer,
Yeah.
and that's my
That could be
psychedelic
psychedelic.
world already. Yeah.
Okay, so
Then you just fall asleep usually.
okay. Yeah, but I mean, what about to sleep, to dream? Is that we're talking about the internal world, the world of our imagination? Come and have a seat on the table of chat.
All ages welcome.
All ages welcome. There's no age limit. Come back in a few years' time. I mean, what about this internal? Is it an internal world? Is it controlled by the drink? Is it the drugs that are making this psychedelic experience? Yep.
I can ask, does it have to be 6 pints? Does 7 undo it somehow? Or like, why 6?
Why,
6 pints, like, you know. Yeah.
why not
Specifically 6? Like, what happens if you have the 7th? Does that ruin it?
an average of
average,
6?
okay.
Okay. What about you? Do you have you ever had a psychedelic experience?
Yeah, I mean, life is a psychedelic experience.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, like, we've got no point of reference to know what normal might be, so it could be that the world is entirely grey and we're imagining colours or something crazy like that. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got no, like,
Colour
yardstick.
could be in our imagination.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
as sound is.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. Is psychedelia in your imagination, that's what we're talking about now.
I'm going to have to leave you and get the VR stuff, the
us a
technology VR
Give us a
stuff.
final thought. What do you think about this conjecture that it's actually the imagination that we're stimulating, either by the pints or by the technology?
Timothy Leary always recommended not doing psychedelics with alcohols.
Right.
Yeah, so it depends on what kind of substance. But I think, like Rowan said, everything's pretty psychedelic.
Life is psychedelic.
Yeah, everything's an alternate reality.
Okay.
But then we're just playing with artificial reality within alternate realities.
Okay, so
it's super
reality
trippy.
already is an alternate reality.
Yeah, you go to Amsterdam, that's an alternate reality to London reality. So,
Okay.
Yeah, and it's bicycles. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So, reality is already an alternate reality. Is there a more real reality than that reality?
Now I want to come back to the question before. What is psychedelia?
That's your right. That's your right
Yeah,
as a
thank you.
participant of Tokyoki.
No, I think it's
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Everybody can find his way to it. It just
Yeah.
she needs to have 6 pints of beer, and for somebody else he smokes something, or somebody
Yeah.
it's just enough to hear the music and get into it, and
Yeah.
you can get your own drug or something.
But what is
so-
this? What is the psychedelic element then?
I think
What-
it's just something that brings you above things, and then you have a broader view on things and see it from more perspective.
So it's a kind
Something
of
like cubism, I would say.
So it's a kind of expanded plane in a way, one way or another.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Something expanded, something above, something like that.
You get a broader perspective on
Broader
things, I would say.
perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, you've changed seats.
Yeah, I've changed this because there are some people when come in, they can sit here.
Okay,
So
that's
is there
good
get into
thinking.
good conversation?
Thinking, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just finished 2 pints, so I'm still in the relative world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
But I mean,
few
is
more
that,
pints.
is that kind of, let's call it the grey reality, because that's what, Rowan's disappeared now.
Yeah, he just want to grab the beer afterward, maybe.
Yeah. Let's call it the grey reality that Rowan described. Is that kind of like standard reality? Is it the normal reality? What is this first initial reality?
How can I say? I think everyone has his own reality, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my own reality. The African people have their own reality. We don't know each other well, actually.
Yeah.
So
Is there a way to sort of
bring them together.
Yeah, or
No.
just to try and get
Okay,
people-
drink more and you can bring all the friends
So
together.
drink will actually bring people into each other's world.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
We're gonna go for the band now, so
What are you gonna go
we'll join you later.
What?
Pardon? Are we gonna go to see the band now?
Yeah, which band?
Oh, yeah, Assassin.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll join you later. Thank you.
Okay, well, come back. If you've got any more thoughts on this or any other subject, do come. This is where.
Are we recording?
Yes, we're recorded over there.
You hides me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll give you. Just in case you don't come back and you get stuck in an alternative reality, you can find yourself on that website sometime in the future.
Thanks.
Thanks for being some of our first participants here on Tokyoki. Nice to meet you too. Enjoy it. Is it Assassin you're going to see?
Yes, Assassin.
Assassin. Like the.
It's in the Late Factory.
Okay.
District.
Okay. Yes, that's a track by David Bowie on the Lodger album, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, but it was our first dip in the water of what we might be, what kind of conversations we might be experiencing here today. Come and have a seat. We've got Rowan here. Mikey, what's your name? Paul. What is it?
Paul.
Paul, welcome. I mean, this is Tokyoki. It's a free-form talk show. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. The early conversation on the doors has been about reality, but we don't have to go with that. I mean, is there anything you particularly want to talk about, Paul?
It's my first time here, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. What you did? What brought you here?
I love psychedelic rock.
Yeah.
I've been to the Austin Psych Fest, Vancouver, BC Psych Fest.
Yeah. And what is it about the psychedelic rock that you like?
Well, I'm older. I grew up on it. You know, the old psych bands. So
Yeah.
I like modern psych.
Yeah.
So
And can I just, because the earlier conversation, we had some people around the table. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. We've got Paul, we've got Rowan, and we come and have a seat. Give us 2 minutes, because we've got Paul here. Where have you come from?
San Francisco.
He's come from San Francisco. Anyway, I think that's impressive. But how important is it to get, or is it unimportant, or is it irrelevant to get off your face, or to be on some kind of intoxicant or another? Or is that just a route to that kind of sense of transcendence, or like the wider mind expanded experience?
I don't need it. I just
No?
like the music.
Did you ever need it? Is it a point you've got to, or do you think that's kind of an irrelevance?
No, I mean, I understand why people do it, but
Yeah.
it was, you know, it was never my thing. So,
Yeah, it's not what it's about for you.
nah.
Okay. And Rowan?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I think sometimes it's an excuse, you know, to do something to enhance the music. But if the music's good, it shouldn't need enhancing.
Okay. I mean, does the music in a way have a similar effect?
I mean, yeah, it can do. Like everyone kind of gets like, you know, a bit of a chill down their spine the first time they hear something amazing, and a bit again.
Can you give us an example?
I don't know, the first time I ever heard like Sigur Rós or something like that, you know,
Right.
those really sort of enchanting, slow building, progressive sort of melodies. First time
Yeah.
you hear something like that, is pretty special, or any equivalent band. And in similarly to drugs, it's kind of it's sort of a high you're constantly chasing as well.
Yeah. So it's a kind of drug. So now when you hear Sigur Rós, you don't get the same hit. That
No,
got
so
the first time.
it kind of prompts you to search further
Yeah.
and wider to try and chase that feeling.
Can you
'Cause-
relate to that, Paul? Do you think that's true? That you know, the first. I mean, is there a particular band that brought you into this scene?
Yeah, in fact, it brought me here to the UK. I
Yeah.
came to London first to see the Pink Floyd art show
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah,
the V&A. So
yeah.
I was there last week
Yeah.
because Pink Floyd was my first rock concert.
Yeah.
So it had a huge impression on me.
Yeah.
It just really got me interested in the whole psychedelic rock
Yeah.
and prog rock scene. And
I mean, do you
everything else.
sort of agree with Rowan that I guess that first hit of Pink? I mean, I was actually thinking Pink Floyd when you were saying that. I was thinking Pink Floyd, but that first hit of Pink Floyd, do you never kind of get that same kick when you go back? Come and have a seat. This is Talkioki. We're talking about. Have you got a final thought for us, Paul?
Rock on.
Okay. So that's Paul from San Francisco. Oh, wonderful. He's come over here especially. Big fan of Pink Floyd. We've got Rowan over here. I'm Mikey. What's your name?
I'm Paul as well.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
Alex.
Alex. Well, at the moment we're talking about. Do you want to come and have a seat? What's going on over here? Come and explain what's going on over here. Is it working? Okay, tell us what it is. Tell us what it is. Explain what's going on over here.
Dream World.
So obviously we're Liverpool Psychedelic Festival. A lot of the chat is going to be psychedelic based. That's kind of inevitable. And so far we've been doing it 10 minutes. We talked about the nature of reality, virtual reality, our ordinary reality. Is it really so ordinary? And the way through to psychedelia, not through drugs but through music, with people such. Actually, you mentioned Sigur Rós, interesting enough, but Pink Floyd has also been mentioned. So they're the subjects floating around. But we've got, what's your name?
Kira.
We've got Kira here, and we've got Alex, we've got Paul, we've got Rowan. I'm Mikey. What is this tube over here? What's that all about?
Well, actually, it creates a psychedelic experience through technique of breathing
Yeah.
and connection rather than music. Actually, there's a new element of sound. So there's
Right.
interactive sound
Yeah.
through the breath itself. So when people breathe, they see the breathing visualized in lights.
Right.
And
So
that
it's a
connects
kind of
to-
it's a breathing installation. This is some kind of breathing apparatus. So it's about not necessarily about visuals, or there is a visual and a sound element, but there's
You
also
just
a
come and
breathing
experience
element.
I think it's all about experience.
It's an experience.
you wanna
Alex,
try?
Paul, would you like to try this?
I want to go see Duds.
Okay.
We saw them a few weeks ago at End of the Road Festival.
Yeah.
And I've never been taken by like post-punk or anything like that, but their
Yeah.
sound is
Yeah.
overwhelming. I had to buy earplugs because I had a headache after seeing them last time. So
Yeah,
it's first
right,
act, so gotta get some. Gotta go and see those very shortly. They should be great. Yeah.
Amazing.
Can't
amazing.
wait.
Are you going to try this breathing thing?
I'd love to try it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Is it-
really sure. I've not tried it myself.
Is it
I
on,
should
is it on
really.
working and everything? Is it
I think
working
it's up
now?
and running. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kira, can these guys try the breathing thing? Oh, maybe, I don't know, there might be some other punters on it. And then obviously now we've got rid of our only two punters, but never mind. Yeah, that will happen, yeah, for sure. I feel there are going to be some distractions. Come and have a seat. This is Talkioki. It's about whatever you want it to be about. That's the great thing about, it's a unique thing about Talkioki. It's up to you. I mean, so far it's been quite psychedelic, the nature of the conversation, but yeah, it's as predictable. But we can talk about anything, you know. We can. Have you got somebody whispering in your ear? What's the word on the street? What's going on in the festival on the Grapevine?
We're looking for bins.
Okay.
Anyone's got any bins?
Okay. Can we have some bins, please?
One by the bar there.
There's a bin by the bar. Thank you, Rowan. Okay, so we're looking for bins. Maybe we could move on and have a conversation about the environment. Yeah.
Maybe if there was, if more people walked around with virtual reality headsets, they'd have virtual waste and could throw them in virtual bins. We wouldn't have real waste.
You kind of got that on your desktop, haven't you?
Yeah.
Come and have a seat. This is Talkioki. We've got Rowan. My name's Mikey. Who are you? Come and say hello quickly. Help us. Scott. Come and have a seat. Come and have a seat. We're here all day, so it's not a problem. But I guess we're just warming this up. There's a sort of a bit of a lack of bodies in the room at this point.
Foot traffic's increasing. I think before long we'll get enough bodies down. You know, people will dwell, people will stand and check their phones, and then they're our prey. We can just get them, or not.
Exactly. It's gonna happen. We're gonna grow this like a beautiful.
A fractal feels like an appropriate analogy.
A fractal crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost ready to take my t-shirt off. I want to try the breathing thing, to be honest.
Yeah, it's right here, so it does feel sensible.
Yeah.
I think when we get some downtime, I think we should, because it's right there.
Hello. I'm Mikey, this is Talkioki. This is Rowan over here. Come and have a seat. Tell us who you are. You're mingling, you're wandering, exploring. You're waiting for what?
For our gig to play.
Oh, what? You're playing a gig? Come on, tell us about it. Come and have a seat.
We need to find where to go. We need to find where to go now.
What's the name of your band?
It's Bambi Davidson. Bambi Davidson.
Okay, so maybe there was a guy that had like a little earphone a minute ago. Does anyone know where Bambi Davidson are supposed to be playing? No? Oh, you know? Okay, you know. Oh, okay. Oh, the district. Okay, does anyone know where the district is?
Downstairs that way.
Downstairs. Okay. Once you've done the gig, come back and tell us about it on the table of chat. This is the brain. This is the consciousness of the festival right here. So, you know, it needs to be relayed back to the consciousness what's actually going on. But good luck with the gig.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know this is controversial, but Mikey, what do you think we should talk about?
This could be controversial. This could be controversial, but it's not that I don't like music. I'm just not that interested in music. I mean, I like any music. That's the thing. I just like any music. I'm not passionate about a particular genre or style. Just anything, really. It's a bit like somebody that's hungry and just would eat any food. Do you know what I mean? They don't necessarily need
I get what you mean. Like you can appreciate food without being into food.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people will like going out to fancy restaurants, but will hate cooking, for example.
You see, I like cooking, but I guess I'm not. I guess I've got no musical ability whatsoever. So
Do you think musical ability is necessary for appreciating music on a certain level?
I think to a certain extent it is, you know, because otherwise I can't really tell what is good music from bad music.
Well, does it matter? I mean, if
No,
it
I don't think
moves
does.
you,
To
then
me-
yeah.
To me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I have another sort of almost oppositely controversial thing, which is I kind of think there is such a thing as good and bad music. I don't think it's very easy to define, but I think there are some things that just don't really count as music. There might be sounds that are orchestrated that you hear, but I don't think that makes
Can you
it
give
music.
us an example?
Which is like anything that's like objectively just commercial for the sake of it, anything that is made with money in mind and not with love or not with heart, which is why it's impossible to define. But I genuinely think you can kind of place any piece of music in, say like a triangle graph that goes between art, commerce and entertainment. And something can be entertaining in music, and something can be artistic in music. But when it's just commercial, I'm just like, well, that's not really music. That's just sounds that sell things. In the same way that, like, you can have a piece of art, a portrait, and you can have a piece of design that's made to sell a Coca-Cola bottle. But I don't think that's art necessarily. I know obviously someone somewhere is going to say, oh, well, of course it's art because you can define it however the hell you like. But in which case that devalues what art is anyway. So I kind of feel music works in the same way. I'm happy to dance around to something that's pure entertainment. I'm happy to stand there and listen to something that's purely artistic. That's my one. You can have it if you want. Do you want it?
Yeah, actually.
Go for it, go for it, because I've got a bottle somewhere. Yeah, just checking. I thought you didn't know. That's all right. But yeah, do you know what I mean though? There's arty music, there's entertaining music, and then there's just commercial music. And everything exists somewhere in that triangle. Hey.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkioki. We've got Rowan here. My name's Mikey. What's your name?
I'm Pete.
Pete, welcome.
Hey.
Come and have a seat. What's your name?
Georgie.
Georgie, welcome. This is Talkioki. It's a pop-up talk show. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. At the moment, we're talking about music. Is there such
as one would?
Yeah, as you would. I mean, it's all been quite predictable. Hello. Come and take a seat. Okay. Are you doing a little tour? See, he says tour. I say tour.
Yeah, but that's because you're
Yeah.
It's 'cause you're southerner.
I'm from down south. Yeah. And some things up here are confusing. Do you know what I mean? Come and have a seat on Talkioki. Don't be shy. We've got Georgie. Georgie or Georgia? Georgie. We've got Pete. We've got Rowan. I'm Mikey. What's your name?
Colin.
Colin, welcome. We're talking about music. We don't have to talk about music, I should just say. This is Talkioki. It's up to you. My job in the middle is simply to facilitate the conversation. So if you'd like to talk about something else, please do advance the conversation in that.
Get real. Shall we all talk about our deepest, most personal fears? Shall we?
Yeah.
Shall we get super real?
If you want to, yeah.
5 minutes into Psychfest. Probably won't just yet.
Okay, well, and a few beers later, maybe we can do deepest, most personal fears. That's when it gets entertaining for me, I have to say. But you know, right. So music. Are you interested in music?
I am here, so the likelihood is yes.
Yeah.
My biggest worry is liking really shit music.
Okay.
That's a real.
But I mean, if you like it, surely it's not shit.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Well, is there any shit music that you like?
Shit, yeah, probably all my music shit that I like.
Rowan was kind of saying before you sat down that there is such a thing as good and bad music, but I just like any music.
You must have
anything. What's that?
I said you must have a favourite, or you must have a favourite song or band.
I like lyrical music. I like the Leonard Cohen, the Smiths.
Yeah.
I like Kate Tempest. I don't know if she's really a musician. Come and have a seat. Is there such a thing as shit music? Is there any shit music that you like? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Colin's gone. It's too controversial for him. Yeah. Do you like any shit music? Come on, man. Come and have a seat. So Rowan, Pete, Georgie.
I'm Weave.
Was it?
Weave.
And
Rick.
Don't be shy. Sit down. You can leave at any. And this goes to everyone.
You said shit, didn't you?
No, I said shit.
Oh, right.
But I mean
shit music.
But shit music as well. If you
Fantastic cop.
HMS Pinafore.
HMS Pinafore, yeah.
Shit music.
Is there? I mean, that's the thing, because Colin was concerned that some of the music he liked be shit. Well, yeah. And would that be a bad thing anyway? I don't know.
It's a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. Have you got any guilty pleasures?
I've got tons of them. I've got some guilty secrets as well.
Okay. Is it time, or as Pete said, is it too early to bring out the guilty?
It's far too early.
Okay.
Maybe next year's Psychfest.
Okay, that is quite a long time to wait. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We're talking about shit music at the moment.
I might return later.
Well, give us a final thought before you go.
Final thought. Everything is meaningless and we will all die.
Okay. Okay.
He asked for a final thought.
You say that kind of laughing as if it's actually a good thing.
It's not the worst thing, yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
Nah, it's just the way it is. They asked for a final thought, and I thought that's probably the most final thought.
Yeah. Okay, so hello. We've got Rowan here. Forgotten these people's names. What's your name again?
Rick.
Rick and
I'm Weave, yeah.
What was it?
Weave.
Weave.
Yeah, that's me.
Weave. And come and have a seat. And we've got, what's your name?
Katie.
And it's Rowan over here. I'm Mikey. Where do you want to go with this? Do you want to talk about everything is meaningless, we're all going to die? Or do you want to talk about shit music or a different subject altogether? It's early days, so it's kind of up to you.
I think you can direct the...
Well, the thing about Talkioki is it's not down to me. My job is simply to have the conversation. I don't choose the subjects. You choose the subjects. I can talk about anything, and I have literally talked about anything over the many, many years of driving my van up and down the highways and byways of the United Kingdom.
What is this?
This is Talkioki. It's a pop-up talk show. But the unique thing about it is that you come up with the subjects. Come and join him.
In work.
What do you mean you're in work? What does that mean?
I need to go back.
What are you working as? Come and tell us quickly.
Okay. Hello.
So we've got Rowan, we've got Katie, we've got Weave, and we've got Rick and Mikey. What's your name?
Nice to meet you. My name's Lauren.
Lauren. What are you working as?
I work in Bongos Bingo.
You say that again?
Do you know? Have you heard of Bongos?
Put the mic there, because otherwise I can't hear.
Have you heard of Bongos Bingo?
No.
So we're based downstairs.
Yeah.
And it's a bingo rave.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually pretty big now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does it work?
So...
Can I take my mum along to it?
Yeah, we have 90-year-olds playing.
Right.
All of you can come. It's for everyone of all ages.
Okay. Do you get a card, a bingo card?
You play bingo, but everybody gets drunk. Everybody gets on the tables and dances and has a great time. Yeah.
How does it actually work?
It's just the same as normal bingo. So if you get a line or a full house, but the prizes are like a mobility scooter or a dildo. We have double-ended dildos as prizes.
Right.
It's a bit weird.
Okay.
A mobility scooter or a mobility scooter or a double-ended dildo.
Yeah. Okay. I know which one I'd rather win.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, did you come up with the concept yourself?
Oh God, no. I've just started. I just do customer service.
Right.
But it's all based downstairs.
Okay.
Just trying to see where everyone's actually gone.
And you're about to start this soon?
Put him.
Are you
No, this has already started.
It's already happened?
Yeah, it's already going up. We've just moved to Australia, Dubai, Ibiza, but it all started in Camp Inverness.
Right.
So it's going big now.
Right. Okay. So it's an international phenomenon.
Yeah, it is. You should Google it.
Well, yeah.
We should just go to it.
Yeah.
Like you should take this down to the.
Yeah.
What's it called? Bingo.
Bongos Bingo. Bongos Bingo.
Bongos Bingo.
Bongos Bingo.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just came for a wonder because we could hear it, all the music. So.
Yeah. I see. Well, I still don't really understand how it works, because like normal bingo, someone calls out a number.
So is it just normal bingo but with music?
It's normal bingo, but you got to dance. You've got to get on the tables. There's music.
Does it depend on what numbers get called?
Yeah. It's just a bit nuts, really.
One of those kind of things that it only really makes sense when you see it. I mean, 'cause in my head, what I'm seeing is like someone's playing bingo and they have to be on a table in order to win. If they're just some curmudgeon just playing in the corner, they're not gonna.
If you just like add loads of alcohol to everything, like people are gonna get a bit like silly. So everyone's just silly, really. It's like nobody. By the end of it, nobody's really playing bingo anymore. But
that's kind of you're just getting everybody with a focus, and then it kind of
by the end of it, nobody knows what's going on.
Okay,
but that's why everyone has
walks
such a
off
good
with a
time.
dildo.
Yeah.
I see.
I think that's why everyone.
So it's slightly narcotic bingo. So is a line really a line, or what's?
Maybe for some people, yeah.
So when you win a line, what do you actually win? Okay. How did you get into that?
Jess is my good friend.
Come and talk. So you've been allowing Lauren to represent this when you actually know a lot more about it. Come and tell us about it. You're responsible for this. Take responsibility. Are you involved in any sort of like?
No, not bongo bingo. But there we go.
Okay. Well, tell us what it's like.
Bongo's Bingo is the most ridiculous amount of fun that you can ever actually have. Within 5 minutes of being in there, I was dancing on a table.
Right, so it's accelerated as well.
It is definitely, yeah. The prizes are utterly ridiculous. There's like mobility scooters and Henry Hoovers and stuff like that.
Right, I need a Hoover.
It's fun for everybody. Somebody actually really legitimately needed to win that Henry Hoover on my table as well and didn't.
Yeah.
Like they were just like, I really actually need a Hoover and I haven't got any money.
Have you got? Where do you get your Hoovers from?
I don't know. I'm not in charge of buying the prizes.
Okay, that's Jess, isn't it?
I was going to go see camp with all those.
Where are you getting all these Hoovers from?
I'm going back to let go. We need to chat to you.
Okay, I'm going to need to go. It was
all right. Okay, thank you for giving us a flavour. Yeah.
It is actually spot on. Have you been?
No, I never even knew it existed.
Like they do it everywhere. Like it's moved to Manchester, it's moved to London, Dubai, Ibiza, Mallorca, all over the place. It's huge. It is ridiculous. Like it's
what is it?
Everything that you think it's going to be, it's more. Like every single number that gets called out has a specific song around it.
Right.
And then as soon as the song comes on, everybody just gets up on the table and starts dancing. There's just beer, prosecco everywhere. Like
logistically, can you just talk us through? You buy a ticket, you pay. How does?
So you buy a ticket to go to Bongo's Bingo. It sells out massively in advance, like about 6 months in advance. And you buy a ticket, and then you get a book of bingo scorecard things.
Yeah, so far just the same as normal bingo, apart from the advance element.
But then there's a raffle as well in between each game.
Yeah.
And the amount of money that you can win goes up and up and up, and the prizes get more and more ridiculous.
How do you get the prosecco and beer and stuff? How does that work?
It's not like a normal bar.
So the drinking element is
the drinking is essential.
Conventional.
The drinking is essential, but I think the kind of atmosphere, even if you weren't drunk from the word go, you do just get up on the table. Inhibitions just leave even without you being drunk.
Right.
Like it's such a great
so it kind
atmosphere.
of sucks the inhibitions away from you.
Really, it's that thing, isn't it? If you can't beat them, join them. Like as soon as you get there, you just have to be up for it, and I think everybody is.
I mean, one of the things, one of the elements of Talkioki is we want people to be uninhibited and sit down and do it. So maybe we need to join forces.
How did it work in Dubai? I thought Dubai was dry.
How does it work?
I don't know. I can't say I've been to the one in Dubai, so I don't know if it's the same experience. But as I said, if you're not, even if you're not boozy, the atmosphere is so great that you just get up on that table anyway. Even if you're a bit of a wallflower and you don't really kind of get going like that. We're talking about Bongo's Bingo, Sam.
What
are you in the middle of?
I'm trying to find something. In fact, you can help me find them.
Okay.
I'm trying to. Do you want to do this in a microphone, or?
You might as well. Let's make it part of the show. Part of the show. We've already had a bin location query on the show.
That was so interesting.
So what's going on?
I'm looking for James, the VR man.
The VR man is there. Is there? That's his name.
There he is.
The guy with the hat.
I was coming to look for you in order to identify him for me, because
Okay. Why are you looking for James the VR man?
he's going to be interviewed about his said VR.
Are you?
He's
Are
probably
you?
ringing me now. He's ringing me now.
You've got to do an interview.
Are you? What's it? We do the interview here. Look, you've got a microphone.
Well, 1 second, we're just
What question do you want to ask him?
I don't know anything about VR, so I won't be asking him about
Okay.
it.
But I think that could be a good starting
I'm
point,
just
couldn't it?
facilitating.
Okay, that's sort of a bit like what I do.
Yeah, you're
I know nothing
facilitating right
about
now.
anything,
You
yeah.
facilitated this.
Sammy does the PR for the festival.
Okay. Okay.
Sam is the comms man.
Okay. So you're the comms man. What does that involve? Does it? Do you have to like rub people up the right way? Do you have to sort of like?
A bit of virtual rubbing is required at times.
Yeah. Like we were. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are you going to come back? Okay. Fantastic. Can I just ask you? Like we were driving up here and we were listening to Six Music in the van on the way here this morning. They were mentioning this festival like every 5-15 minutes.
Yeah, they should be.
It was sickening in a way.
They're coming
But
today.
how did you manage to achieve that? To achieve that level of publicity?
Well, Six Music really like Psychfest for obvious reasons. So they've been covering us
So
for
it's
a
just
few
about
years.
being liked in a way.
Yeah, well, we just told them what it was all about, and they got it straight away. So
Suitable lineup and festival for the Six Music audience, and it's regional as well. Like it's really good that something is happening outside of London and gets that amount of coverage because it's hard work to do.
Are we too London centric in this country?
Hugely. That's why I've moved back to Liverpool.
Yeah. Were you in London?
I was in London for 8 years.
Yeah.
And I've moved back to Liverpool, and I've never looked back.
Okay. Should we move to Liverpool as well?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, it's a great city.
yes, you definitely should. Yeah, I mean, one of the things we say about Liverpool Psychfest is that like the majority of the people who come here from outside Merseyside, so it's not like not really a local festival. That doesn't work, does it? Doing those on radio. So
but we're on video anyway.
Oh, we're on video, and so it's great.
Yeah.
So so Six Music are actually coming here today and tomorrow.
Well, that's excellent stuff. Rowan, have you got any questions?
Not questions. I was just kind of agreeing with it. I'm from London. I think we're too London-centric, and it's frustrating that there isn't more excuses to go to a lot of other things because they just don't get publicity, and it's really annoying.
I mean, what is going on there with London? Why is everything?
Because everything's commercial and it's by the numbers, and of course the London stuff makes the money, so it gets the push. But it would be amazing if more of the smaller festivals around the country got a bigger presence, a bigger slice of the pie.
Is there a way to sort of reverse this kind of because it's boring for people from London as well.
I think it's kind of happening in slow motion. As London becomes more full of financial wankers, it's just going to happen because it will become less cool. So other places will take.
Is London becoming sort of culturally dry? Is it drying out as a city?
No, I don't think it is culturally drying out at all. I think but if you live there, you don't take advantage of everything that's on your doorstep.
I think it might be easier to do something on the scale of the kind of of this here. Venues are cheaper to get. You can do more stuff. Local authorities are a bit. I'm spitballing. I'm speculating that it's cheaper to find bigger spaces to do mad stuff in like this.
Post-industrial city. With lots of warehouses.
And
that sort of thing. 20 years ago, when I was interning at places in East London, would have happened in a place on Brick Lane and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I was there. I was 20 years younger. I was in those post-industrial Brick Lane spaces doing this pretty much. But now it's moved to Liverpool, and yes, things can. You can't. I think you're right. This would be flats by now.
I think it's really interesting that something like this can exist in the same venue as something like Bongo's Bingo.
I mean, I think to me, I was just saying, to me, I think it's all too music focused. Do you know what I mean? I'm not interested in music. I'm interested in stuff like Bongo's Bingo.
Shall I come on? I'm just going to go.
There's a lot of music at Bongo's Bingo.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
every
not-
single
it's
time
not-
a number gets
Yeah,
called
but
out.
it's not about this band are really good, that
It's
band
about
are really
it's,
good.
it's really crap 90s
Yes.
pop music.
Yes,
It's like
that's what I'm
Bewitched
talking about.
and like loads of
Yeah.
kind of like 90s R&B. Like
Yeah, exactly.
It's the big tunes like
Yeah.
and you don't realise that's what you're dancing to.
Like TLC Scrubs, that kind of thing.
I love TLC.
Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely adore TLC.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat.
What is this?
This is Tokyoki. There's a few subjects on the table. It's a pop-up talk show. We've got Rowan, we've got Kath, we've got Sam. Yeah. And what's your name?
Minnie. Minnie.
Minnie. I was just not sure if it was Minnie or Millie. And come and have a seat. Come and get involved. What's your name?
Jade.
And
Andy.
Andy, and we've got Rowan at the back here. There's a few subjects on the table. There's the thing about is London drying out, and are we given enough kind of, the sort of like the national media scene, is it giving enough attention to places like Liverpool where things actually happen? Then there's the thing about liking shit music as well. And are we to...
That's quality.
There's quality.
It's quality
Okay.
pop music.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, I sort of feel like a bit of an imposter because I like that kind of music. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not that passionate about all the. I mean, they're amazing musicians, but it's.
You should embrace the fact that you like shit music.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. It's just if you like something, you like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I hate snobbery in music. I
Yeah.
really dislike it.
Okay.
Because I can listen to something that's obscure and about 5 people like it and it's super cool, but then I'll listen to something that is on Capital FM.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. I think every single type of music has a purpose. And you should be able to embrace those different types of music
Yeah.
at different points of your day.
Do you agree?
Look down on the purposes that they have. Like I see.
Hang on a sec.
I see. Generally, I see pop music it's just talking about relationships all the time and wanting to meet someone on a night out and have sex and stuff like that, and I just think there's more to life to explore.
Do you think it's
than
just folks obsessed with relationships?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it's like society wants that.
Yeah.
For you to be codependent on someone and not be thinking.
So it's kind of setting. It's not only about relationships. It's setting a kind of normative paradigm about what that. Yeah.
I think that's true about current day pop, and I think that's what I deem as shit music. I'd like to think I don't have that opinion that a certain type of music is shit.
Yeah.
But I draw the line at that kind of American kind of influence
What
crap
about
that's
I
in the
Kissed a
charts.
Girl
But
and I Liked
old
It?
pop,
That
there's
kind
no
of
such
thing.
thing as bad old pop.
Really?
80s pop is class. Do you know what I mean? And there's no guilt there for me.
Is that
And
just
the
because
cheesier,
it's
the
kind
better,
of like
you know.
a vintage wine? It's just matured, and or is it,
Maybe I'm just getting older. I don't know.
What do other people think?
It's age, maybe. I don't know.
The Beatles. That pop music's fabulous.
Okay, so you're agreeing the older in a way,
Yeah.
the better. Any views on this?
Probably, but I think all the new stuff is quite terrible, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when you're saying it's all about relationships and stuff, I think that's true to a certain extent to what makes it into the radio and the charts.
Right.
But, if you listen to the artists or the works, it's not always about that.
Right. Okay. So if you want a song to get that media attention, it's got to be about a boy meets girl relationship and a codependency.
Yeah, people just love that.
Yeah.
It just comes really easy.
Yeah. Is it the easy thinking? Is it because that's what people want, or why do people love this?
It's what people can relate to, isn't it? So you have to have something that's got universal appeal, but even if a song was written about and has a certain meaning, once it gets put out there into the world, it can take on any meaning that people want it to as well.
So
So
it
it
doesn't
can be
necessarily
translated in different ways.
Right.
But you have to have something that can be construed in different ways and can relate to a mass audience. So I think that's why songs of relationships kind of do get out there, because everybody needs those songs that they turn to when times are tough, and most of the time it's to do with relationships.
Yeah. I mean, is it because that's what's on people's minds, or is it just because it's easy?
Well, a lot of people like just love relationships and love to talk about it and talk about other people's relationships. Like, I think it's something we enjoy the most.
I mean, is that just because it's simple and easy, or is it because it's what we're interested in?
I think the human brain sort of just can't live without it.
I think there's a lot of like feedback there in the relationship between music and what we're into, though, because I think because there's lots of relationship stuff in music, people like it, and so there's more of it, and it's because it's marketed, so they're always going to appeal to that.
So in a way, we're being trained to be into relationships.
Whereas like in the 70s and 80s, I think things were a little bit more philosophical, and so the music.
Can you think of a philosophical pop song?
The entire back catalogue of Pink Floyd. I mean, you know, it's
Okay. So is the music kind of telling us to behave in a particular way? Is the message? Are we actually absorbing that message?
I think it's not that suggesting there's some sort of great big conspiracy theory to make you behave all the same way, and it's not, because it's lots of independent actions leading us necessarily to the same thing. Yeah, that might be true. But it's not some sort of big.
It's not like
corporate conspiracy to make. Universal and Sony and BMG don't sit down together and go, we want everybody to be in heteronormative relationships.
I'm sure they like stop people from writing songs that might polarize their audience. Like, I'm sure there's, you know, conversations that are had about what songs come out on certain like albums and stuff, and that's like, no, that's political. You can't have that one because you might piss people off. Taylor Swift's a very good example of that, because she has such a big platform, and she won't talk about, she's never ever said anything about Trump. And for somebody who says that they're like a modern feminist, why isn't she speaking out about the fact that the president?
Labels told her to
I think she's very calculated, and I think she's made that decision to not say anything that would piss people off. Because if you think about where she's come from through the country scene as well, and where she's like from like geographically, a lot of her fans are going to be Trump supporters. So I think she feels like she'd lose a lot of her demographic if she started talking out about politics. And it's just like, you've got that platform. Why don't you use it?
And she's got the ear of the Trump supporters as well. We've got a new face to the table. We've got Minnie, we've got Sam, we've got Kath, we've got Andy, and we've got Jade and Rowan and Mikey. What's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, welcome. At the moment we're talking about, it started off with being about shit music and a sort of like liking shit music. But then there's this thing that Jade brought up about this idea that, is it all about relationships, all this pop music? Are you off? Give us a final thought before you go, Sam.
Final thoughts?
Yeah.
Go on, James.
Pass back through.
You see it? We're here all day. We're here all day. Final thought?
Oh, I can come back.
Well, give us a final thought and come back.
I'm here for the next 2 days, so
give us a final thought and come back.
Nothing is final.
I don't know, people take the final thought thing a bit too seriously around here. A new face, welcome, what's your name?
Paris.
What is it?
Paris.
Paris. We've got Jade, Andy, Kath, Minnie, Rowan and Mikey. I don't know if you heard that little sum up that I just did.
Not really, no.
Oh, okay, I'll do it again. It's a kind of about why are all these pop songs about relationships, and is Taylor Swift not speaking out about Donald Trump because she's worried about losing her fan base, or is it because the record company have told her not to do it?
To play devil's advocate, what if Taylor Swift is playing the long game? What if she's waiting till she's like Madonna level, people will worship her and listen to everything she says, and then was she going to drop it, like, you know, someone please go knock him, and they'll...
She's absolutely massive. Like,
is she Madonna level?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Sure. I don't think she's quite there. But then I think Madonna was always a little bit risque. And I know I know Taylor Swift is in a different way, but I think maybe it was more accepted back then for people to speak out a little bit more. I don't know.
I gotta speak out about politics.
Okay, so
Katy
you know
Perry's
a lot
got
about
songs.
this.
I don't know, because I've never really listened. I haven't listened to them. Maybe I should. maybe they surprise me.
Okay, I mean it should. Andy, I was going to ask that one to you, but anyway, never mind. Should Taylor Swift be Is it her place? She's got this platform. She's got a million Twitter followers.
Yeah, she definitely should be, and it's interesting how bothered people are about success, and is that like it's not the only thing that matters, you know.
Yeah.
Things that are going on in the world are more.
She's too success orientated. Come over here. Don't come and have a seat. So this is Talk Extra Pop Talk Show. At the moment we're talking about Taylor Swift. Should Taylor Swift be using her enormous? Should Taylor Swift be using her enormous platform of following her support to be speaking out about political developments in the United States, like the election of Donald Trump? And
Depends how intelligent she is. I'm not trying to for 1 minute say she isn't, but with the feminism thing, I can't help but feel like this feminism thing has become quite fashionable, and I think even that sells, unfortunately. And whether she's the right person to be speaking out about feminist issues or politics, I'm not quite sure. And I can't help but feel a little bit cynical that if she did start doing that it would be just to sell rather than coming from a really authentic place. In a way, like it might be a fashionable thing.
Okay.
It smacks a little bit more like a more nuanced version of like 90s girl power in a way. It's sort of it's feminism by numbers that markets well. Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely think you can see a sort of queer identity becoming more marketable as well. Right. So you see what Katy Perry did with her last album, and it was exactly that. It was exactly queer, just taking stuff from LGBT people, obviously giving nothing back, and that's just basically how pop has been for quite a long time. But I think that the last person to do it and to do that, maybe with a bit more integrity, was probably Madonna.
Right.
Or maybe in that sphere.
Okay. I mean, is it cynical? I mean, is it Paris? You haven't said anything yet. Are you going to go again?
I mean, like, she has a massive platform. Like, I don't really follow her on Twitter or anything. I assume she's got millions.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just a matter of personal freedom. She can do whatever she wants with it.
Okay, I mean, she's got power, that's for sure. Do you regard her as a genuine feminist?
Couldn't tell you.
You couldn't tell, you don't know nothing about
I reckon she definitely hates Trump. Like, you can just tell.
Yeah, okay. It's not,
Maybe she's a Trump supporter. That would be like a weird one, wouldn't it? If all of a sudden she just went, I absolutely love Trump.
Do you follow anyone that's got a massive... Are you on Twitter?
No.
Okay, me neither. So I don't know, we haven't had a conversation yet.
I think what stems from what you just said, a good question, is authenticity has always been the big, like, hoo-ha in music. And there's a lot of questions you can ask, philosophically speaking, about what is authentic anyway. So a recent one in the sort of metal sphere on Relapse Records was Mirkur, who's a one-woman black metal artist, and she used to be in a pop band. And being female in a very extremely still male-dominated area of music, and that she was in a pop band, made a lot of, shall we say, internet forums heat up with anti-female rhetoric.
She's an authentic performer?
Well, she's put out an EP and 2 albums now. She can play the fucking Mikkelharpa, which is this Danish instrument from her home country. She clearly likes black metal, and I personally think like it's irrelevant as a question.
Right.
But like, because
quality of music, whether is her music any good, and if it is, then who cares?
I mean, what about the question of
authenticity? Honestly, is black metal more of a cash cow than electronic pop music? Honestly, sure.
Well, I have to say, in the People Speak, which is our organisation, it actually is.
But what I was thinking about, black metal's is a frustratingly like misogynistic, backward scene as well, socially, isn't it? I mean,
we're hitting third wave. The internet has enabled all this experimentation. You've got fucking Fairyland black metal from France in Alcest. You've got Hammer Dulcimer black metal from Botanist in America. You've got all sorts, and I think it's great because it's opened it up as like a form of expression to people who are a bit more creative.
I mean, can a genre have a particular sort of viewpoint and perspective, or is it just a genre?
genre itself is abstract, but it's like the people who purport to support, like the people who identify with it, that are kind of usually the problems.
You mean people like Rick?
No, because he doesn't stand. But I mean, he doesn't stand up and go, "I am metal." He just has a metal interest.
But he went to see.
But that doesn't mean he is the genre.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't like play it by the numbers or anything. But some people really do like subscribe to like a particular way of seeing, of being and dressing and so on. And
I mean, is there? I mean, the black metal. I don't know anything about it myself, but all I know is this guy called Rick that none of you guys know. He's a perfectly charming, lovely guy, and there's nothing misogynistic or, he's just into black metal.
To be fair, he's into death metal and thrash metal. I'm the black metal fan. He's the thrash metal fan.
Oh yeah. Well, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, the point is
it's about to make. Yeah. Right. So it's basically the associations with Norwegian black metal and far-right ideologies have come from the early 90s, when basically bands like Mayhem, it was basically a bunch of really privileged white kids with no problems engaging in gang warfare and all just trying to be more edgy than the others, and ended up in arson and murder.
Oh yeah.
So it was just a quite extreme form of that, but that was in the early 90s, so that's over 20 years ago. So it's moved on.
Yeah.
Had like their own like characters, didn't they? Like they all had stage names and stuff. What was Vox one? It was like Count Grishnak or something. And it's like the whole.
Where do you stand on this, Paris? Do you think that there's a kind of there's a taint or a tinge to?
It's definitely got a history.
Yeah. But does that affect them now? We talked earlier on about authenticity. Does it affect?
I don't know. I know if you see someone who like quote unquote looks black metal on the street, would you associate that with church burning? Like, do you think it's subconsciously?
No, I don't. I mean,
that's what
Yeah.
I think subversion has got a lot to do with it, and I personally am a big fan of the idea of subversion.
Right.
I know a few people in black metal bands, queer people in black metal bands, and and as the gentleman over there said, it's about the people involved and how things change overall. Culture is elastic.
Yeah.
Culture and
I mean, what about this question about subversion? Because I think it kind of, he looks like a subversive black metal kind of guy.
Viking.
Is it about this question of subversion? And is that really what we're talking about? Why we're frustrated with Taylor Swift because she's not subversive in a way, or is she? I don't know. Maybe she's subversive, but
too marketable to be.
Yeah. I mean, but pop music has always been a little bit subversive. It has to be, even the most mainstream.
I think that even if the person, I think you've got to be very careful. If you're in the spotlight as much as somebody like her, you've got to be very careful as to what you say, because obviously you're marketing your music towards a younger audience as well. So it'd be nice for them to say something that would make younger people think, or people in general think, but I don't believe it has to all be politically kind of minded angled stuff. But I think that you have a bit of responsibility if you feel strongly about something to kind of use your fame as a platform, I would say, to kind of try and get people to think a little bit. But it depends whose hands it's in, because I have no idea what she thinks or whether she can articulate. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we're all talking about somebody we don't know anything about in a way.
I kind of think
Just make it up.
Is it about? I mean, is it about Taylor Swift and what she thinks in the first place? I mean, okay, the last person to do something really subversive in pop music is Beyonce with the Formation thing and the Black Panthers tribute she did at the Super Bowl and that whole album. But that whole album wasn't about just what Beyonce thinks. That whole album was getting shitloads of other people of colour and queer people of colour involved and putting their voices in and using her platform for their voices.
Right.
It wasn't about this
in
is
a way,
what Beyonce thinks.
She was a mirror to this whole scene that maybe mainstream America wouldn't look at.
There's a hilarious comedy skit on YouTube of like the day that Beyonce turned black, which illustrated perfectly how like she was very packaged for white consumption before, and then all of a sudden, oh my God!
I mean, is that like that kind of that moment, that Taylor Swift moment when she's about to do that, where she just goes, she suddenly becomes a proper feminist, and
How would Taylor Swift do?
you don't think so? You don't think it's going to happen?
I just, you can't I personally can't take celebrities' words about politics seriously, just because I think the general view is just that celebrities aren't people.
Right. They sort of
they live in a completely different world.
Okay.
Like, you know, they don't have the same worries as me, you, or anyone else here.
Okay.
They're like a brand almost, more than they are a person.
I mean,
in a way.
at what point do you sort of like almost lose your personhood? I mean, how big do you need to get before you stop being a person, or is it a gradual thing?
It's living. It's just having a public life. You know, everyone is watching you, so you know, they're gonna like point it out every time you trip up on something. Like, you could have said like something like 3 years ago, and then you said the opposite like some other time, and then people just go, you know, you're full of shit.
So it's kind of bad news, getting that big, getting that. Luckily, well, it's not going to happen on this talk show. But
that was good. I think I kind of agree, but I think it might be more relative than that, because again, getting back to something like the metal scene, someone with a quite small following can have quite a big impact if their fans are really devout, and they can kind of, you know, make a bit of a clamour.
Have you got someone in mind?
No, I guess again back to like the early '90s things. These weren't big bands. These were not radio-friendly bands, but they were sort of a very grotesque little political movement that did a lot of damage and hurt a lot of people. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
Okay, give us a final thought.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Politics and pop music.
Yeah.
I think and this is kind of a bit not controversial, but it's kind of going off the subject a little bit. I think if you're raised in the right way, i.e., you know, with responsible parenting and all the rest of it, I think it sounds silly this, but yeah, hopefully you know, the bad messages that come through pop music won't be absorbed and acted on. But yeah, I don't know. I guess music should have its place, but we also need to see the responsibility that some of it carries and some of the negative stuff.
Play music with responsibility. Play responsibly.
I don't know, well,
some people in America still think that Marilyn Manson was responsible for the Columbine disaster, when it's like, no, not really. But I don't know.
About all this, you know, all that, like what this other lady said about the sex and the kind of all the banal crap about, you know, just like, you know, getting your hair done and your nails and all that, like yawn.
How deep an effect
do you know what
does
I mean?
it have?
It's just like,
I mean, I wonder how.
Nothing there, is there?
Yeah.
It's just pointless, really, in my opinion.
I mean, earlier on we were talking about like how people were so body conscious. They weren't, you know, and is that down to what the messages that we're getting from social media, from mass media, that we're being told that we have to look like Taylor Swift, or
I don't know.
You don't think so?
In women's and men's catalogues, it's always a certain size. Like, there's never much of anything between 8 and 12 for women's sizes, and that really projects an image of what's right. And
do you think do people take that in, or is it?
Yeah, I think definitely.
The fact that celebrities get trolled by the public on their appearance as well shows that people do take that in. Like, even if a pop star isn't allowed to deviate from an 8 or a 10, and the general public are putting that on them, then definitely, like.
I think this is what the advertising industry has been doing on purpose for years and years anyway, for decades, because with big products and like big companies, they're selling an idea, then they're bigger than just the product. That's why Apple is so big, and that's why Nike is so big, because they're selling an idea. But I think women have had it far worse, this kind of slow thing of you need this product to be beautiful, or you need to fit into this product to be beautiful, I think. But absolutely. I think it's been going on as part of capitalism and consumerism for a long time.
I mean, is it just, are we getting more, is it more of oppression now, or is it just something that we're just talking about?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely do. I'm sorry, did I just snake you then? But then I'm of a different generation. You know, I'm 34, so I'm not really kind of classed as that younger person anymore, I don't suppose. So, was I affected by pop music when I was a teenager? I guess most teenagers are a little bit insecure, and so they're affected by any particular image they aspire to. But I think especially the mainstream kind of image. I was always lucky to be a mosher and like you know, a grebo. So for me, do you know what I mean? It took all sorts. There's all sorts of colours and things going on, you know. And it was nice. We wanted to stand out of the norm, so the pressure wasn't as great. I think if you're into mainstream stuff, then it is a lot more kind of glossy magazines, if you know what I mean. So it depends what you're into.
So in a way, there's a kind of double pressure. There's a pressure to either conform or not conform.
I mean, on a slight sort of deviation, I think like you get these sort of microculture bubbles now, but if in me personally, in my life, I've always felt a pressure of being too skinny, that I was too skinny and that my body wasn't right because it was too skinny. And I mean, I'm a queer man as well, and I find in the circles I move in, there are spaces where there's definitely policing of like, believe it or not, you're not fat enough. Right. There's like the bear stereotype that is in some places is held up as the epitome of masculinity. And if you're not hairy enough, if you're not burly enough, you don't fit that, then you're and it's an interesting inversion, but that is you know, got to be said only in extreme cases and extreme spaces. It's you know, but that sort of thing exists too, which is kind of peculiar.
Okay, I mean, do you ever feel that you're too fat, too skinny, too hairy?
I don't know. I mean, I can't say it's ever come up, but I do feel like I've never fit into any single scene ever or anything. Not intentionally, just like constant outsider. Something like that. Just feel like a constant outsider in whatever I'm doing, or an imposter or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that could be an interesting place to go. Because I was talking about this earlier on. I sort of feel like an imposter here.
Because you were saying you weren't like a fanatic about music.
Yeah,
and so,
I'm not fanatical about music.
But then I think a festival like this is quite good because it's not so specific on its genre. I think it suits people who aren't massive music fans, but it also suits, because it's obscure, it suits people who are massive music fans. And I quite like that because it gets those two very paradoxically like joined worlds to meet. It's really nice. Whereas I think too many music festivals are just like, right, it's just about this, and you only get people who are into that, and anyone who doesn't fit that is instantly ostracised. So, like the person at the black metal gig who's not wearing black, which is always me. And exactly.
What do other people feel? Do you feel like an imposter? Do you ever feel like an imposter?
I think what I was saying before about like every genre of music and every type of music serving a purpose, from working at like a cool independent label, I was seen as the poppy person, and that was, I felt like I was constantly having to validate my role there by going, I actually really like this band as well, or I went to see that last night, because there was at one point somebody was playing music. We all like to play different music in the office, and Stay by Rihanna came on, and everyone just went, "Calf, what the fuck?" And I was like, that wasn't me. It like literally wasn't me, but everyone looked at me straight away. And it turns out that A&R had put on Patti Smith's playlist that she'd done for The Guardian, and that was like the 4th track on it, and I was just like, and that was basically my life at Rough Trade
So
Records.
you felt singled out. Felt singled out.
Honestly, I was the poppy person.
Do you ever feel like an imposter? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Do both. Be the imposter. All right. Thank you. Thank you. You had an extra bite of the cherry there, but we're here all day. We're actually not here all day. We're going to go and see some music at some point, or hear some music.
I don't know, it's the festival of psychedelia. Seeing music is probably the appropriate term. Everything's a bit synesthetic. And
Just like a superficial add to what you were saying about festivals, it's this and Supersonic. I am repping a Supersonic t-shirt right now, but Supersonic in Birmingham and Psychfest, and that feeling of anything goes, I think is what we need. That plurality in music and that freedom in music. And like in my scene, I live in Manchester, and our scene is of all the people I'm sort of friends with, it's a more pluralistic. It's nicer when it's a pluralistic thing.
Yeah.
And there are people in prog bands or electronic bands or doom bands, and they're all just mates and they're all just supporting each other.
Yeah.
And it's not about.
And they're not necessarily all playing the same sort of music.
No, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. So tell us about Supersonic.
Well, full disclosure, I kind of helped put the festival on earlier this year.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Lisa.
Yeah.
So a lady called Lisa Mayer runs Capsule in Birmingham, and Capsule have been doing Supersonic for over 12 years. And
what is it? Is it a club?
It's an experimental music festival that happens in.
No, but Capsule, is that what is
Capsule's the organisation.
Right.
So they run a commemorative project called Home of Metal, which is about Black Sabbath, and obviously metal originating in the Black Country, and commemorating that. And then Supersonic is their other flagship thing, which is mostly every year, and it's this huge 3-day music festival in Digbeth in Birmingham that, say, this year it was Colin Stetson and Jenny Haval and Anna von Hauswolf headlining, and who else? It's the kind of thing that a lot of psych bands play. So White Manor have played for them, and Nod and Ex-Easter Island Head and stuff like that. So there's a lot of kinship, I think. I mean, it's nice. I think you see this development across the country of things like little nodes like Supersonic and Psychfest that are all, I think, to the same ethos.
Yeah.
And they want to provide the same thing, which is more than a festival. It's an arts thing.
It's and in a way, it's about the mind as well. We can ask the person now. Do you feel like an imposter? Okay, come and sit down. Can we? Well, you have to give us a final thought before. We don't have to, but I mean, encourage you to give you a final thought.
Well, maybe backtracking a little bit to the thing about artists and politics is, I think the best thing that was ever said about it was Nina Simone, and she said, "I think an artist's duty is to reflect the times."
Right.
So that's my closing thought. But I'd probably rather Taylor Swift didn't.
Okay. When the times are, you get a flavour of what the conversation has been about.